Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the Hourglass essay outline. It's a simple method for remembering what all you need to do in an essay and how to create one that flows well and your teacher will enjoy, as well as anyone else who decides to read it, especially if this is something that you're doing for a non-academic purpose. So to begin your essay, you always need an introduction. So the first part of this hourglass is the introduction. The first part of your introduction is what we like to call the hook. The hook is what you're going to use to try and draw in your reader. You want them to be interested in what you're writing, and you only get one chance to interest them, and you want that to be the first bit of your essay. You want it to be something like a quote or an interesting fact or a little tidbit, maybe a story, something that is going to get the reader saying, interesting, I want to know more. You want to make sure you really research what could be a great hook because you only get that first chance to pull in your reader. The second part of your introduction is your background information. This is where you introduce your topic slightly. You aren't going to give a full, big, detailed introduction in this section, but you're going to give a lot of the information that is necessary in order to understand your thesis, which is your third point. Now, your thesis has to be the last part of your introduction. Think of this as an hourglass or a funnel. You start wide with your big hook, and then you narrow down to become more specific in your thesis. Now, a little more information about your thesis. A thesis is a claim plus supporting facts. Typically, you're going to want 3 supporting facts. That's what you use in a general thesis, especially with a 5-paragraph essay. 1 introduction, 3 body paragraphs, 1 conclusion paragraph. That uses those 3 facts in those body paragraphs. So let's look at an example. Giraffes are cool. This is our claim. Something that we're going to prove. How are we going to prove that? Well, we're going to prove it with our 3 supporting facts. But first you need something to connect your claim to your supporting facts, like a conjunction. In this case, we're going to use the conjunction because. Now, let's look at our other facts. Our first fact, they are the tallest mammals on Earth. Fascinating. Now we need to get to our second fact. In order to get to our second fact, we need a comma. Our second fact, have gentle personalities. And once again, we need a comma to connect them, but we also need another conjunction. In this case, we can use and. Their spots are as unique as a human fingerprint. We need all of this information just for our thesis. Your thesis is where you're going to spend a good deal of time when you're writing an essay. All right, now let's move on to the other portions. The neck of your hourglass is going to be the body of your essay. This can be as many paragraphs as you need or are required, but it's where you're going to use those 3 supporting facts from your thesis. Now, think of your conclusion as a reverse of your introduction. So this last section here is your conclusion. So, the first part of your conclusion, you're going to reflect your thesis. Now, don't think of this as a mirror image. You're not repeating it. You're not just saying it backwards. Think of a reflection as a pool looking in a body of water. It's not going to show your reflection exactly as a mirror would, but it will give you a very similar effect. The next thing you're going to do is summarize. You're going to conclude your essay by wrapping up everything that you've already said. You're not going to introduce anything new, but you're going to give a lot of details from your paper and essentially remind the reader what they just went through. And then the last thing you want is what I like to call a reverse hook. For this, you want to leave the reader satisfied. The reader needs to know why they just read through this whole paper and what makes it good writing, what makes it interesting, why they need to continue thinking about it, and why it's something worthwhile.